Hey, everybody. So glad y'all are here to join us. Food for thought. Becky is out today. She has got a beautiful excuse. Her son is getting married. And so she's not here and she's working on getting all that ready. But I'm just so grateful that y'all are here. And today I'm so excited to talk about this really hilarious, amazing book. It's called In This House We Will Giggle. And I don't know if any of y'all have read it or not. You can do like a little thumbs up if you have, but it is each chapter is about how to teach a particular trait or characteristic that you want to develop in your child, right? So joy is one of the first chapters, I think, and it is one of my favorite chapters because I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of I tend to be on the more strict side of things. And so like my kids are like, can I go play? Can you play with me? And I'm like, I have to do the dishes. Right. And so this book has been really helpful for me because it gives me little ideas to put on my to-do list that actually make our house kind of fun and exciting. And the lady who wrote this book, I think I saw her speak one time and she is so vibrant and seems like you want her to be your mom because she's super fun. So today we're going to talk about joy because I know as the end of the year comes on, there's a lot of kind of, oh my goodness, we have so much to do. We've got parties, we've got, this, we've got that. And sometimes we just get going and doing our to-do list and it's like, holy cow, we've got so much going on. And it's sometimes we lose the joy in all of the fun things that we do. And so today we're going to talk about joy and this chapter from this book. So I love how one thing that this author, Courtney DeFeo, does in this book is she defines each characteristic in a way that's really family friendly. So this one, she says, when the reality of life meets a heart of gladness and you've got joy. And I think that's kind of a cool way to start to think about what joy might look like in your household. How do you foster a heart of gladness in your children and what this looks like? I will say for those of you, she is a Christian writer, and so she makes a lot of Christian references. But I think even if you have a different faith or you don't have a particular faith tradition that you follow, a lot of her ideas are still incredibly helpful. And so you could steal even if you, don't follow the Christian faith. Sorry, I'm admitting all these folks. So thanks y'all for joining on. I'm so glad you're here. And so she's got this amazing quote. Our kids will catch this joyful bug by what they see in our homes each day. The choices we make when dad gets fired or when a friend gets the car we wanted. From the big to the small reactions, they are watching. And so one thing that's very cool, if you think about it, is your ability as a parent to be somebody who models joy. And again, like I said, this chapter is so convicting for me because I am not the parent in our family that models joy. Stan is 100%. The kids are like, Dad, will you go through the baseball with me? Yes. Dad, will you go play a board game with me? Yes. Mom, will you do this with me? No, I have to do the laundry. So I think it was one of those things where okay, how can I start to think about how am I modeling joy for my kids? How am I showing up each day? When they get in the car, am I greeting them like, hey guys, or do I say anything? Or is it one of those like, hey, I'm so glad. Tell me about your day. What was joyful about your day? Um, how do I respond when life gets maybe in the way of my happiness? Can I still show them that I have joy? That I can have a heart of gladness, that I can be somebody who maintains that no matter my circumstances. And so, if you think about yourselves in your day, right, like this is not to make you feel guilty, but it's more just to inspire you because we really get to choose, right, which is kind of cool. If you think about it, we get to show up and determine for our kids how we're going to respond to every moment. And when we can get that meta, I think it gives us a lot of power, right? So if I look back on my morning this morning, we were late as per usual. we're always like, okay, it's 7 o'clock. We got to get out the door. We got to get out the door. And, we get in the car and I forgot to drop off the dog. And I wonder if I look back on my day, did I model joy for my kids? And if I were going to do it again tomorrow, which I am, how can I model that joy for them? And so if you think about your day and how you want to model joy with your kids, how do you want to do that? How do you want to show up for them? And, what are your reactions that you're super proud of? Because a lot of times you are doing it right, and we are doing this right. Another quote she talked about, which I think is so fair and helpful for her to say, is that it's not just kids who struggle to choose joy, it's parents too, right? It's all of us. A lot of times we're just at least in our household, we're just one big grumble. Oh, I didn't like the snack you brought, Mom. I wish I had different shoes for soccer, whatever. And it's like, okay, wait a second, let's flip this, right? How can we catch our kids and catch ourselves in those moments when we feel like grumbling, and we can really instead just say, hey, wait a second, what would it look like to choose joy in this moment? And that can actually be a pretty powerful tool in your back pocket that you pull out when things start feeling icky, because we've all got those moments, right? In the car or at the dinner table, or right when you're picking somebody up from something, there's sometimes that moment where you feel like, ooh, everybody kind of feels icky. And as a parent, we know our emotions are contagious. And so how can we choose joy? And then that kind of contagion will help spread with our kids. I love this philosophy. You, as parent, are the chief mood officer, the CMO in your family. We say we're the CEO, we're the CFO, we're the COO. Sometimes we're the chief food officer, maybe, but we're also the chief mood officer. And DeFeo writes, our children crave our love, touch, and approval. They want to know we see them and we love them, even when things are going downhill. If the mood in the house is tense, we can assess, and this is so huge, if it's because we ourselves are too busy. Oh, sorry. I don't have that very mute. If we ourselves are too busy, too stressed, too critical, or too tired. Often, bringing joy is as simple as scooping up a little one to give him a heartfelt hug or smile and a word of affirmation. And so if you think about yourself as the chief mood officer in your house, right? And you think about all the opportunities that you have on a daily basis to kind of set the mood, set the tone. There are some kind of key places, at least for me, when I reflect on my day and I think, okay, where can I tone set? I have a hard time switching the tone, but I have a pretty good track record with setting the tone. And if I'm intentional with the setting, usually things go well from there, right? So waking up, morning time, that is a mood setting moment, right? Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to breakfast, or time to wake up out of bed. There's a lot of different moods that I can use when I do that with my children. And unfortunately, I am often too rushed, too busy myself to choose a joyful mood. But when I do, it's kind of an amazing moment. So that first wake up moment is a great one. The getting in the car / dropping off at school is another great tone setting moment where your goodbye has a lot of power. Right. Another great tone setting moment is that pickup from school, or that walking in the house, or that first time you see them after their school day, whenever that is, whatever that looks like. That's a moment of joy for you to just jump in and smile and, oh my gosh, I missed you, or I can't wait to hear about your day, or I've got the funniest thing to tell you. I can't wait to share this moment of my life with you and for you to share with me. Those are some powerful moments. And then another great kind of mood setting moment is right before bed, when you've got this kind of acute moment where a lot of times there's kind of a contented joy that seems to settle over our children. I don't know about y'all, but mine seem to be more open. They seem to be more calm in those 10 minutes I've got when I'm saying good night. And um, that's a great place for you to be the chief mood officer. Have them reflect on their day. What was joyful for you? So, this is the stuff I really love about this book. Um, Again, for those of you who just joined, the book is called In This House We Will Giggle by a lady named Courtney DeFeo. And one thing I love about this book is that she takes very concrete ideas and says, okay, you want to know how to do this? Here's how you do it. And she gives you pages and pages of just ideas. And this one is one of my favorites because these are not things that I would just think of to do. This isn't my personality. And I don't know about y'all. Maybe some of y'all are like the fun people and this is like, oh yeah, we do that all the time. To me, I'm like, I have to put it on my to-do list and check it off. Did we have a dance party today? But if I do that, it will get done, right? So some really good ideas that she has. Tickle attacks, right? If you're in the middle of a grumpy cycle, depending on your child, to have it to be like, we got to break this. We've got to stop. We've got to smile. We got to laugh. Let's have a tickle attack, right? Can you make me laugh? Can I make you laugh? That just made me think of another example of something I read in a different book where one author talks about how when your children when your children are fighting and they have to make up, one thing that they do at the end of an apology moment, Becky talks about the 5 A's, right? But at the end of an apology moment, once they've said, okay, we forgive me, I forgive you, all that stuff, then he makes his children hug until they smile. And honestly, I mean, it's not in this book, but that is a great way to break a bad mood cycle. Hug until you smile. It is amazing how two kids, especially my boys, they will be just growling at each other and their apology will be so pathetically awful. But then when I say, all right, hug until you smile, their little faces just transform. And it works with my 10-year-old as well as it works with my 6-year-old, and it worked when they were 4. So I think, these kind of moments where you can, as chief mood officer, break that bad mood cycle. Hide and seek, right? When was the last time we played hide and seek with our kids? I know it's been a while for us, and this is something I'm going to have to put on my to-do list this week. It's like, let's have a game of hide and seek, or when next time we're feeling grumpy, let's just stop, drop, and have a little bit of fun. Cuddle up and read a book. There's actually so much research around having a story read to you, and that like touch, and you're next to each other on the couch. And again, right, if you can see different types of children in these different types of moments. A tickle attack could go one way or the other with my oldest child. But hide and seek, he'd be all over it, right? My daughter, tickle attack would be fine for her. She'd probably like it. But if I said, hey, can we cuddle up and read a book together? Oh man, her joy factor is going out the roof. So you can also think about your child's personality, their love language. Are they a touch person? Are they a gift person? Are they quality time? Are they acts of service? And what are those ways that you can bring joy into your house? Funny face contest. This is one of my moments of success that I started when I was like, my kids were super little. One day I was getting gasoline, and all of y'all know this. When you have toddlers in the car, any stopping is a terrible idea. It's like, nope, we just need to, wherever we leave and we need to get there. We just do not need to make any stops, because with toddlers, 2-year-olds, they're screaming in the car seat. They have to go to the bathroom. Maybe somebody squeezed an applesauce pouch all over everybody. And so when my kids were super little, if we had to stop and get gas, while the gas was pumping, I would make faces at them in order to keep their attention on me and to keep them happy. And they would make faces back. And so now it's a tradition in our family. Whenever we're getting gas, the kids knock on the window and they're like, Mom, make a funny face. And I think if you think about those moments, like just making a funny face in the middle of an argument or in the middle of a moment can just pop that crummy bubble of junkiness that sometimes gets just festering around us. and can really bring a little bit of joy, right? And it's a choice you can make. You can say, you know what? I'm just going to do that. That's going to be my habit. Whenever we're starting to fight about stupid stuff, bleh, right? And I bet your kids will laugh. Dance party, throw on some music, and Kids Bop is always a good option. Please put in the chat other things besides Kids Bop for me, because I'm kind of dying over here. Other clean, friendly kid music, if you have any good ideas. I'm getting a little tired of Kids Bop. Encouraging someone, right? Oh, hey, you know what? Who needs encouragement? Let's make them a card. Or can you turn around and say one nice thing about your brother or sister right now? Or I'm going to encourage you. You know what? Hey, you're doing so well with this. I see you working hard. Chance scenes. I'm actually not sure what that is. But one thing that reminds me of is if you have your phone and you're in a restaurant and at least we've been in this where we're in a pinch, like in a waiting room, or we're in a restaurant and we're sort of dying. Maybe everybody's grumpy or snipping at each other. The game that you can get on your phone called Heads Up, where you hold it and you have to guess. We have had so much joy and fun and laughter with just that game. So if you think about what are some games that you can easily just kind of keep in your back pocket and play to bring a little life, to bring a little laughter, to bring a little joy into your family. Indoor tag, that might depend on your household. This background is not my household. I took a picture of a much nicer one and stole it. But we wouldn't play tag in here, but we might play it in my actual house. Just playing together, right? Hey, let's go color. Let's go play a game. You want to throw the ball? What do you want to do together? You want to go kick the soccer ball? You want to go ride a bike together? And then this listening game is a cute idea where you take turns asking questions. So, hey, come up with a really hard question for me. And your kids, you know, it's really funny. They might be a little bit afraid of challenge during the day. But if you say, do you think you can stump me? They are going to be all over it. You watch them smile and they're like, ooh, let me ask mom a really hard question. And then you can say, all right, but I get to ask you a hard one next. And then you can ask them anything you want and they're so engaged. So she gives a bunch of other ideas, but these are just a few that I think are absolutely amazing and fun. So some other quotes from this book that I thought were just right on. And one thing that I also love about this book is she has these little, kind of like this, joy is a choice every day, little phrases that you can just say to your kids. I remember reading, I don't know how many of y'all, when you were moms or dads, read the book Moms on Call for toddlers in particular. And there was this one phrase where they said, just say this to your kids, not no, yes, ma'am, and do it when they are being defiant or whatever. And I took that phrase and I say it all the time. And the kids, they can fill it in. Hey, not no, yes, ma'am, and do it. But these are little phrases too, where you can kind of pull your, you can say them over and over and they become little things that will just pop out in the moment. So joy is a choice every day. I have delight in my soul because I am a child of God. Great friends do not steal joy. They celebrate others, even when life doesn't go our way. I think another one with this in particular is a lot of times if we're talking about being good friends with our kids, or we're talking about friends who are good friends to our kids, that is one thing I want them to learn. Like, hey, you spread joy to your friends. You celebrate other people. When your friend gets a win, don't be jealous, be joyful, right? Even if your friend made the team and you didn't, you can have a choice to be joyful for them. And those are the kind of kids we want to raise, right? Your happy heart shows on your cheerful face. That is sort of a funny one, but it has like this moment where you're like, yes, joy is a physical thing. We emote when we feel joyful and when we choose joy, right? And then this is a cool one that I really, really like. Joy spreads through our family and then out into our community. And so teaching your kids like, hey, this is when we choose joy, we're like throwing a pebble in a pond, and the ripple effects we're not even going to be able to know. we're not going to be able to know the impact we made on somebody else's day, but that we can choose joy and we can talk about, hey, how did somebody else choose joy today that had a positive impact on you? Do you think that they knew that? Do you think that they knew what a positive thing that they were doing in your life? Where did you choose joy today? How do you think you maybe impacted someone else positively? And to get your kids to starting to think about when they have chosen joy, when they do that joy, there's a lot of opportunity for them to make their community better. And one thing we know research around is that when kids feel like they have impact, they know they matter. And this is one easy way where you as a parent can help your kid know that they matter simply because they have decided to choose joy. And that doesn't have anything to do with athletic ability, academic ability, artistic ability, no natural given ability. It's all about what are they choosing? How are they choosing to respond? And then you can help them feel like they matter because of how well and how often they are choosing joy. So she closes with some very cool questions that you can like take a screenshot of this and ask some of these in the car on the way home or at the dinner table. Questions like, is joy a choice or a feeling? Right? She argues that joy is a choice. But what an interesting conversation to have with your children about, okay, what do you think joy is? How would you define joy? Does joy have to do with your circumstances, your surroundings? If it's a choice, how do you choose joy when things get hard? What is your ultimate source of joy? And again, that gets into faith, right? But no matter your faith, that's a really interesting question. And maybe one that it might be a little advanced for our lower school kids, especially the young ones. But as they start to get into fourth, fifth, sixth grade, these are questions that they're going to start needing to wrestle with. And that wouldn't you want them to be coming to you when it comes to these conversations? What happens when you don't feel joyful? And man, y'all, sharing your vulnerabilities about this, your kids can probably tell you, I know what happens when you don't feel joyful. I know my kids can tell me. And then have a conversation about, well, what can we do when that happens? Ooh, this question is such a great question because it points them towards other people. Is there a special event coming up that we can help celebrate for a friend? Does your friend have a performance that we could go to and surprise them? Does your friend have a game that we could just go cheer them on? Right? What's going on in your friend's life where we can spread some joy and share some joy with them? I like this question too. When do we have the most joy as a family? And this one is such a fun question because, um, you know, you will learn a lot about where your kids feel bonded to you and how they like to connect with you when they answer this question. And then it's something you're like, great, keep it in my back pocket, put it on the calendar, put it on a to-do list. Let's do that a lot because let's keep doubling down on joy in our family. And then this last one, this is a great one, especially with May coming up and the busyness of May, right? What's one thing we can do as a family to choose joy together? So, y'all, I hope that this session has been helpful for you. I know that whenever I read this book, I reread it all the time because it just has so many great ideas about choosing the right character traits and choosing joy, especially in a busy time. So thank you all